coldest of days is our comfort. In the dark of night, the winds of change our night. Our freedom is unmatched, and just we fight for freedom and justice. Rise, Queendom of Nyx. We rise, we march, we fight, we live. Rise, Queendom of Nyx. United we stand, divided we fall. In the darkest of nights, in the coldest of days, it's our comfort. In the dark of night, the winds of change our night. Our freedom is unmatched, and just we fight for freedom and justice. Rise, Queendom of Nyx. We rise, we march, we fight, we live. In the dark of night, our freedom is unmatched, and just we fight for freedom and justice.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Prime Minister Austin Elsa, the Prime Minister of the Queendom of Nyx. How are y'all doing tonight? Alright, what are we going to do today? I am starting a brand new series today. And yes, you're probably noticing my attire. This is not a new attire. I've had this for a while. I think it was a Chris's birthday present years ago. So I just feel like wearing it. I don't feel like wearing my usual attire today. So I did say I was going to post videos yesterday. To anybody that knew that or not. But, I had a workplace injury, and the Queen has put me on personal leave to do anything, Nyx related yesterday, so, just to make sure my injury doesn't progress, later. So, I did get checked out for it, obviously, but if you know, you know. So as far as I'm aware, I'm okay. No symptoms of anything crazy or anything like that. So let's get to it. Let's start this new series. So what is it? So basically, I'm going to start a commentary. Yes, I'm going to start a commentary on Micronations. Yep, I am doing it. Yep, I am doing it. I am doing a commentary on Micronations. I wouldn't say reactions. I'm just going to say commentary because I'm going to be giving my perspective and opinion on every single Micronation, wannabe nations, or nation-building projects like Nyx, Stemeria, and Huscaria. So, without further ado, the first episode I'm going to do today, I am going to do one nation, one video at a time. So that's what I decided to do. I thought about it before turning this video on today, so that's what I've decided. One nation per video. So, the first one I'm going to do today is because I'm biased and, well, I feel like it makes sense to do this. And it gives you a sense on how or what the Queendom of Nyx was inspired by. So today we're going to talk about the Principality of Sealand. Yes, that is the nation that has inspired me, Her Majesty Queen Breckenridge I, and our other founder, Chelsea. So, without further ado, I tried to somehow show the website onto this OBS thing, and I couldn't figure it out. So I'm just gonna have to read it to you. So that's just what we're gonna have to do, unfortunately. So yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get on the website and read it to you. And let's see here. Let's see. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. So, Principality of Sealand. We're gonna do the real website. Real website. Ha! Their website first, their official one. And we're going to check them out. So what am I looking for in my commentary? Well, again, it's just commentary. So how I'm going to do this is basically how real do I personally, I mean, I guess I could represent Nyx at the same time, but you have to understand, I also represent the Queen. So, I have to specify that this is more specifically my personal perspective of other nations, while the Queen might come in later and have a different opinion. So, I'm going to verify with y'all that this is my personal perspective and opinion on how real a nation or micronation is. So, and the ones that are considered real, they can I consider calling them either nations, like Sumeria considered themselves, or micro states, which is a more reality term than micronation as of late. That is what Queendom of Nyx refers to itself as a micro state, something similar to Monaco, Liechtenstein, Andorra, technically Luxembourg, technically. So, those nations, those are micro states. Does it really make a difference? Unfortunately, yes, it does. Because I prefer to be compared to nations that actually exist and actually have a good history, was real, had, I mean, I wouldn't say political backing, but I mean, there's that too. But you don't see the Queendom of Nyx having a lot of political backing, right? So that wouldn't be fair. But history, time, progress. What was one country doing with one thing or the other to get it this far, all that good stuff. So that is what we're going to look for in this commentary. So I'm basically going to look up nations and tell y'all how real they are. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to label them what they are. So you probably already guessed the answer to this one. I already told you I'm biased, and this is the nation that inspired us to make the Queendom of Nyx. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and just commentate on the Principality of Sealand, because I can, and this is a perfect first episode for it. So, let's get started. Sadly, you won't see any images and whatnot, but I will put the link to in the description for the websites of all the nations I looked up, so you can look them up and have your own perspective and opinion of them. Okay? So, alright, without further ado, once again, let's continue. Alright, so, Principality of Sealand. Let's see. Sealand, the story, news, contact us, become an e-citizen. I've seen that a lot, becoming an e-citizen. I mean, I guess that means electric citizen or something like that. But that's cool. I've actually been seeing that lately. I actually follow Principality of Sealand, so I know some of the news already. There's a lot of people trying to become e-citizens, so this is nice. Let's see. History of a nation. 7 miles off the eastern shores of Britain, being battered by the North Sea, a World War II fort stood in international waters, Ruff's Tower. It was to become the birthplace of a nation. Yep. Let's see. The Principality of Sealand was talked about on 60 Minutes, even back in the day, I think. Let's see. Let's go back to World War II, the origin of our fortress. During the Second World War, the British government built several fortress islands in the North Sea to defend its coast from German invaders. Some of these forts were built illegally in international waters. Alright, let's see. Well, you basically got to look up the World War II history for that, but let's see if I can find just Fort Ruff's. Because Ruff's Tower is basically the one we're looking for. So let's see. There it is. This resulted in the portentous uniqueness of the Ruff's Tower Fortress, situated at the high seas, that has been deserted and abandoned. Res derelict and terra nullius. From a legal point of view, it therefore constituted extra-national territory. This paved the way for occupation. Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. So the British Admiralty basically abandoned all these forts. Okay. So they basically just abandoned them. Okay. Let's go. Let's fast forward to 1967. The birth of Sealand. Here we go. I'm a little stuffy, so forgive me on that one. Let's see. In the early 60s, Roy Bates, a major in the British Army, established a radio station situated offshore on an abandoned ex-naval fort named Knock John. The theory behind this location was an attempt to bypass the draconian broadcasting restrictions at the time, which permitted little more than formal broadcasting by the British broadcast. British broadcast. Roy Station, or BBC, Roy Station, Radio Essex, and others like it were known affectionately by the media as pirate radio stations and were much loved by the British public. As they supplied everything that the BBC did not at the time, pop music and amusing presenters in the years that ensued, Roy fought an unsuccessful legal battle with the UK government, which questioned the legality of his occupation of said fort. It was ruled that Knock John fell under UK jurisdiction. Smarting from his setback, Roy weighed his options. Another abandoned fortress, Ruff's Tower, identical in construction to the Nyxian, existed further offshore and crucially outside the 3-mile limit to which the UK jurisdiction extended. I want to pause here. Hold on. This guy went to another fort before Ruff's Tower? I did not see this part. I did not know. I don't think that was brought up in the videos I watched. I never knew that. If it did, I must have not paid attention. Okay, so there was another fort called Nyxian that he went to first. But the British had jurisdiction over it, so he couldn't make it into what he wanted to be. Not a country, but like, a private radio station, right? That was just his original plan. Huh. Okay. Nyxian. Never heard of that. I mean, I've heard of, what is it? Rose Island? Yeah, but that's in Italy, so that has nothing to do with him. Okay. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Roy proceeded to occupy Ruff's Tower. Hold on. Yeah, okay, that's where I'm at. Yeah, Roy proceeded to occupy Ruff's Tower on Christmas Eve of 1966, with the intention of revitalizing his dormant radio station. This was until he conjured a different plan entirely. After consulting his lawyers, Roy decided to declare this fortress island the independent state of Sealand, claiming jus gentium, law of nations. Interesting. Over a part of the globe that was terra nullius, nobody's land. Oh. Interesting. On the 2nd of September 1967, accompanied by his wife Joan on her birthday, his son Michael, who was 14 at the time, daughter Penelope, 16 at the time, and several friends and followers, Roy declared the Principality of Sealand. The founding of this country was marked by the raising a newly designed flag and an extremely romantic birthday gesture, the bestowing of a new title on his beloved wife, to be known from that moment on as Princess Joan. Woo! Nice. Okay, I'm learning something new here a little bit. This looks like an article. Oh, it does. This might be an article. All right, so I think this is an article. It says Bates' family looked on as huge explosions sent the massive structures hurtling hundreds of feet in the air. It was not long before the British government decided they could not have what ministers described as a possible Cuba off the east coast of England. Oh, God. The military were promptly dispatched to destroy all other remaining forts located in international waters. Cuba. Oh, okay, actually, you know what? I can't necessarily blame them. This was during the Cold War. I can't blame them. Okay, no, it's understandable. The NATO at the time was all anti-communist too and everything, and they don't want any kind of communist pariah, even though the Bates family is not that, but okay. So, yep, let's proceed to 1968. Here it is. Battle for Sealand's sovereignty. The goodies. Shortly after the Declaration of Independence, Roy's son, Prince Michael, repelled no less than 7 armed invasion attempts. Wow. 7. Employing an arsenal of guns, Molotov cocktails, and homemade projectiles. Hey! See, guys? You know... Ghost guns. By late 1968, Sealand would find itself battling for survival on several fronts as the British government had become aware of Sealand and the potential problems associated with the new country 7 miles off of their coast. Eager to quash the fledgling nation, officials in the United Kingdom tasked the British military with removing Prince Roy and destroying Ruff's Tower. The British military were keen to resolve this problem swiftly and subtly for fear of repercussions, having themselves placed the fortress illegally in international waters. On several occasions, British warships entered the territorial waters claimed by Prince Roy. After several failed attempts to capture the fortress by force, and one time by deception, the British Navy stood down. In a separate incident, an incursion by the UK government vessel into Sealand's waters led to Prince Michael undertaking decisive defensive measures by way of warning shots across its bow. I remember that one. That part I do remember. They used the artillery gun that's still on the fort and fired a warning shot at the ship. No, I love that. No, I love it. And it's a warning shot. He didn't shoot the ship. He was giving it a warning shot. Get away, right? I have no problem with that. There's no victim there. That's telling the the invader to go away. I have no problem with that. Uh, where am I? Yeah, Prince Michael was still a British citizen. Thus, he was charged with extensive crimes upon his return to Britain and summoned to an English court. Well, you gotta understand, guys, right? The reason he would go back to Britain, he has to transfer all his goods still there, right? He's only claimed sea land for about a year at this point? Yeah, about a year. So he's only claimed sea land for about a year now. He still has to go back into the island of Great Britain to get his stuff, tell people about it, and yeah, pack up his stuff, get all the stuff, and of course make deals, right? Make deals with companies or makes just deals to somehow get stuff, boats and equipment, stuff for the forum, whatever, right? Because look, he's a realist. He knows that there's no resources on Sealand itself, right? He knows this. And that's what I like about it. He realizes that there's no resources on the fort, therefore he must rely on other countries to build up his. I have no problem with that. Okay, what I have a problem with is other countries solely relying on other countries. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want you to be dependent of them. Instead of being a dependent, be a partner. Does that make sense? Don't be a dependent, be a partner. Right? Now, obviously, there's some situations where you might have to be a dependent, but you don't have to be a dependent forever. Right? Okay? There's always something that you could be a partner with, and there's something you could be a dependent for, right? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of one. Let's see. Let's do Queendom of Nyx a little bit of a comparison, right? Queendom of Nyx has a lot more resources than Sealand does, right? Not because we're within the United States. That part's obvious, guys, okay? No, so I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Sealand is in the middle of the ocean. Therefore, if you all consider it a country, it is a island nation, right? So, but this island nation has no fields. It does not have a desert. I guess, let's see, because of it being made out of concrete mostly, it would be an urban desert. Is that natural? No, but... So, it's an urban desert, right? So, there's no... As far as I'm aware, they're not growing crops on it. They could be growing crops on it already, actually, come to think of it. But I actually don't know. And they have an expanded territory. So, obviously, they are a... I don't know if they're a dependent nation. I think they do have some sort of partnerships. Because obviously they're getting funding. That's a big part, right? But someone's got to be bringing the goods in, right? To keep, obviously, the populace of Sealand alive and keep it protected and all that stuff, right? And I'm sure when you guys look it up, it's going to say, only one person actually lives there. That's correct. It's like, well, then why don't everybody live in Sealand? Well, have you seen Sealand? That's another reality thing. They know Sealand is too small to have a very large population in it. And I like that reality. Okay, I like it. I like this reality, right? I don't want to make this comparison, but take it as a Actually, instead of saying that, I'll say this instead. Think of it as a tribal thing, right? You have the land, which is Sealand. So you got Sealand. That's the headquarters of the Sealandic people, right? So what does that mean? That means you just go ahead and get more people. And I think they already had a thing where you could own 1 square foot of Sealand. So they do have property ownership. That is a thing. I know, I get it. It's like, it's only 1 square foot. It's land. And there's obviously benefits behind it, or people wouldn't go after it, right? So, yeah. So, take it as a tribal perspective. There's the tribal headquarters. And even though the nation of Sealand cannot expand, not just because it's in the middle of the ocean, but it's literally because there's other countries that will obviously say no to it, right? So what can you do? Just grow the people. Grow the population. Either get more Sealand-born citizens, right? Or gain more citizens for the nation. So, and I like that. I like the reality of that, right? And comparing Sealand to other micronations I've seen in my lifetime, yeah, no, Sealand outranks everybody. Not because it's old, but because of the founder seeing the reality of things. Right? This is the Cold War. Micronations weren't even a thought yet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, sure. There was people back in the day that wanted to start their own countries, and what I mean by that, I mean, communist states, right? This is the Cold War. There's communist revolutions happening everywhere. So what do they want to do? Make a communist country, right? So there's already many groups and people and persons that want to make their own countries right now, right? And this guy, instead of being a for democracy guy on one side and for the communist guy on the other side, this guy has decided to say, screw the world, I'm doing my own thing. And he did. He took a fort, declared it as an island nation, and was done with it. So, and that's what I like about Sealand. That's what that right there inspired that. Okay? I don't know his because it's the only thing I can compare it to. I don't know his religious background. But this is also something the Amish do as well, is that they avoid what the world do. Like, there's an oath that you take that's actually in the Bible somewhat. It's an oath where, like, if you break it, you get shunned. It's not like, like a samurai thing where, commit seppuku or whatever it's called, I think. I think it's called seppuku, something like that. No, you take the oath to basically, don't be, wait, yeah, something around, like, don't be part of the world, but be in it, right? So basically, don't copy what the world is doing, do your own thing. It's something similar to that extent. I'm sure someone could correct me in the comments. But, it's something to that extent. I mean, I have my own Bible too, but I'm not going to take the time to read it right now because we're not talking about that. So, but, yeah. So that's what I like about that. That's what I like about Sealand. So, I like that they show a lot of reality. And that they realize and recognize the reality of things, right, as time progresses, while they're making this nation. So let's continue on before I get too carried away. It is a commentary, so, and I guess I'm reacting too because, I'm finding out new things. So let's see what we got here. Okay, yes. On several occasions, British warships entered the territorial waters claimed by Prince Roy. After several failed attempts to capture the fortress by force... Oh, wait, I already got that one. Yeah, they stood down. Incursion. Okay, apparently I already got that one. Where is it? Okay, across his bow. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Prince Michael was still a British citizen, thus he was charged with extensive crimes upon his return to Britain and summoned to an English court. The result of this lawsuit was a spectacular success for Sealand's claim to sovereignty. In its judgment of 25th of November 1968, the court declared that it was not competent in Roy and Michael of Sealand's case as it could not exert any jurisdiction outside British national territory. Let's go! This was the first de facto recognition of the Principality of Sealand. And yes, and that's actually what we actually, at the same time, we hope it doesn't come to it, but if it does, I will do this. If I'm ever in a court case, or if any Nyxian is in a court case that involves our community, I definitely hope that Queendom of Nyx is mentioned. Okay? Depending on the case, of course. But I'm really hoping the Queendom of Nyx is mentioned. So, whether it was a good case, bad case, whatever, the Queendom of Nyx is mentioned, it's going to get recognition. So, like that, obviously, it's a risky thing too, right? Because it depends on the case. So it would be nice for the Queendom of Nyx to be mentioned in a court case, but not a big priority, right? So, but it'd be nice. But yeah. Let's see. Yep, British law had ruled that Sealand was not part of the United Kingdom. Okay, see, that's another thing too. It said British law had ruled that Sealand was not part of the United Kingdom. I don't know if they meant what they meant by British law, I don't know if there's an actual enacted law by Parliament that ruled Sealand was not part of the UK. Nor did any other nation claim it. Hence, Prince Roy's declaration of a new state was de facto upheld. But that's the thing, right? I don't know if that meant the British court or the British actual law passed by Parliament. That part I don't know. I haven't looked that up yet, but that would be interesting. And I will be right back. Hold on. I'll be right back. My apologies. I'll be right back. I'm going to go fix my little issue here. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. Much better. Had to... Alright, had to stop that sniffling. The sniffling was annoying me. So, apologies for that, but let's get to it. Alright. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if that means by Parliament or by the court. So that'd be something interesting to, for someone to look up. I haven't looked that up yet, so... yeah. A further firearms incident occurred in 1990. Okay, so we're skipping a big number here. Even though it says 1975, the story says there was another incident in 1990. So let's see. A further firearms incident occurred in 1990 when a ship strayed too near Sealand and warning shots were again fired from Sealand. Oh, wow. I don't think I knew this one. I know about the first ship getting a warning shot. I didn't know there was a separate incident in 1990. That is crazy. Oh, that is... Okay. The ship's crew protested to British authorities, and a national newspaper article ran detailing the incident. Yet, despite Britain's severe prohibition of firearms, British authorities have never pursued the matter. This is a clear indication that Britain considers Sealand to be outside of their jurisdiction. Let's go! Let's go! See, even in 1990, Britain, 1 year before the Cold War officially ends, when the Soviet Union fell, this still happens. Britain does not want to have anything to do with Sealand. They just recognize it, that it's not under jurisdiction, and be done with it. This is what I like right here. Sealand keeps their sovereignty like that. I love that. Alright, so here we go. Let's see. Let's go to 1975. Building a nation. Ooh, stamps, currencies, all that good stuff. Alright, let's see what happens here. Ooh, need to breathe. Let's see. On September 25th, 1975... Prince Roy proclaimed the Constitution of the Principality of Sealand. Alright, Constitution. Over time, other national treasures were developed, such as its national anthem, stamps, as well as gold and silver coins. Gold and silver, guys. Gold and silver. Good thing. Minted as Sealand dollars. Principality of Sealand passports were produced and issued to many of those who have contributed to the formation and continuation of the Principality. 1978. Ooh, now see, I remember this one. Excuse me. I remember this one. In August of 1978, a number of Dutch and German men came to Sealand in the employ of a German businessman. The title's coup d'etat, or the headliner is coup d'etat, by the way. They were visiting under the guise of a business proposition. This transpired to be a ruse, as these men were in fact highly trained mercenaries. And I wish I could show you all the picture. I swear to God. And these are actual photos too, by the way. These are actual photos of the men. And these mercenaries are not the mercenaries you think in movies. These mercenaries are like James Bond. It's my perspective. But these are like James Bond mafia type guys. Like there's a guy in the middle wearing a white. I'm pretty sure these are the mercenaries. I actually could be dead wrong. But I'm pretty sure these are the mercenaries. I just want to make sure. Okay, this guy has the hands up. This guy has the hands up. This guy's arms crossed. So is it just 3 men? I just want to make sure I got this right. Is it 3 men? Because it wasn't a big mercenary group either, right? It was not that big. Hold on, I want to try to see how many were there. Oh, he wrote a book about it. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna tell you stuff. Don't worry. I'm trying to figure out how many. Because I want to be somewhat accurate on this, but you guys could just look it up too at the same time. Yeah, but it looks of it, there's 3 guys. Yeah, but it looks of it, there's 3 guys. Yeah. Okay. But no, like even looking at these guys right here, the ones with their hands up that I can see. Okay, yeah. They're just dressed up like James Bond. Excuse me. Wrong pipe. They look like they're just dressed up like James Bond mafia guys. Like, like a little bit in like casual 70s, 60s outfits. Not really I'm not not really suits with like 60s and 70s outfits, right? Casual wear. So it's not really a big armed mercenary like I don't know, the mercenaries that we're using today in the whatever country, right? So that's crazy. Okay. Here we go. Well, I can't speak. While Prince Roy was away, they kidnapped his son Michael and took Sealand by force. These terrorists bound Prince Michael's hand and feet. And by the way, this is the year 1978, so obviously Michael is a lot older. He's not old, but I think he's like a young man now. 20s or 30s, somewhere around there. These terrorists bound Prince Michael's hands and feet, holding him captive for several days, before eventually transferring him against his will onto a fishing trawler. Following the trawler's landing in the Netherlands, Prince Michael made his way back to the UK to reunite with his father, Prince Roy. A plan was immediately hatched to recapture Sealand, codenamed Operation Trident. Sealand's most loyal and highly trained citizens were called upon, and the legendary Sealand Special Unit was born. The operation was executed a few short days later. It involved a daring dawn helicopter assault and culminated in the unconditional surrender of the invaders. The only true first-hand account of this event is recalled in Prince Michael's book, Holding the Fort. And there's a link to it, apparently. Nice. Yeah, I wrote a book about it. Holding the Fort, guys. Remember that. You know what? I guess just for the heck of it, I might just put the link of that into the description as well, so y'all can just click that separately. The invaders were held as prisoners of war during this period. The governments of Germany, the Netherlands... during this period, the governments of Germany and the Netherlands petitioned for their release. Initially, they asked Britain to intervene in the matter, but the British government cited their earlier court decision as evidence that they held no authority over the territory of Sealand. Ha ha! So Britain couldn't do anything, stating that there was nothing that they could do. Ha! Nice. Prince Roy released the Dutch citizens as the war was over, and the Geneva Convention mandates the release of all prisoners. Okay, see, Geneva Convention got involved, guys. Think about that. The Geneva Convention got involved with Sealand. And what's interesting, too, is that the Geneva Convention was trying to rescue the bad guys. Does that make sense? What does that tell you? Like, I'm not going down a rabbit hole, but that makes me want to go down a rabbit hole. I mean, obviously it stated here that the businessmen were to take over Sealand, but it's starting to sound like a bigger rabbit hole than just businessmen wanting to take over Sealand. Just saying. The German citizen, however, was the holder of a Sealand passport. Oh, no. That's right. I remember that part. Okay, interesting. I actually did not know the Netherlands were involved. I know Germany was. I know Germany for a fact was. I did not know Netherlands were involved. Okay, so... it said German citizen, so one person. Okay, so that means there's 2 Dutch. There's 2 Dutchmen. And 1 German. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. See, guys, that's another thing, too. They came by, if I heard this correctly, Wait, then who came by helicopter? Was it the mercenaries or boat or the people on the boats? I actually don't remember now. I saw that it was the mercenaries that came by helicopters. I guess they all came by. I guess they both pulled a helicopter assault on each other. I guess. Um. Okay. Interesting. I'm surprised they didn't just have a dogfight with them. But okay, yeah. So 2 guys were Dutch, so they were released. Cool, decent, decent. But the German citizen had a Sealand passport. Because of this, he was tried on Sealand for treason. He was found guilty. He was incarcerated for an extended period of time in Sealand's jail at the bottom of the North Tower. Following this, in a sensational act of de facto recognition of Sealand's sovereignty, Germany sent a diplomat directly to Sealand via helicopter. See, guys, helicopters. To negotiate the release of their citizen. Prince Roy, grateful that the counterattack had not resulted in a loss of life, released the treasonous German citizen in a move aimed at preventing the bloodying of Sealand's reputation. See, I like that. Look at that, guys. See? Make a deal. You make a deal with Sealand, and Sealand will agree with it, okay? Be nice to them, they'll be nice to you. Simple as that. He wants his country, okay? And not only that, he was carrying a Sealand passport, guys. That made him a Sealand citizen. That means, guys, and I don't think, hold on, what year was this again? 1978? Guys, the internet didn't exist yet. That means this German citizen either got in contact with another Sealandic citizen, or he's been to Ruff's Tower before. But his first visit to Ruff's Tower, or Sealand, I should say, wasn't a visit, it was a scouting. Rabbit hole. So no, in all honesty, if oh my okay, I gotta be a little human here. I gotta be a humanist here, okay? In my opinion, he should be rotting in the bottom of North Tower, in my honest opinion. But I completely understand, because and honestly, it's fair. Surprisingly enough, there was no bloodshed. Nobody died. I'm assuming there was injuries, but nobody died from it, right? And I don't think there was severe injuries either. I'm sure there was fisticuffs, right? But none of them used their guns on each other, which is surprising. But at the same time, there was a few invaders and there was few defenders and a few counterattackers, right? So, but no, that makes perfect sense, and that's awesome. I'm glad they could figure that out. Okay. Oh, maybe it's these guys that I see on the photo. Interesting, okay. 1987, extension of territorial waters on October 1st, 1987. Britain extended its territorial waters from 3 to 12 nautical miles. The previous day, in anticipation of this, Prince Roy declared the extension of Sealand's territorial waters to be 12 nautical miles, so that right of way from the open sea to Sealand would not be blocked by British claimed waters. Sealand being approximately 7 miles from British shores. Ho 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 ho! Oh, Prince Roy, you are very smart. Very smart man. Yeah. See, guys, he's been paying attention to the British government. He knows what's be going on. And I think the British actually did this on purpose too. Because they want to get rid of Sealand. They want to do something about it, but British court said no. Oh, it's amazing. I love it. Okay, let's see. Ah, here it is. Okay. Let's continue. Believe it or not, that whole thing was a headliner. No treaty has been signed between Britain and Sealand to divide up the overlapping areas, but a general policy of dividing the area between the two countries down the middle can be assumed. International law does not allow the claim of new land during the extension of sea rights, so Sealand's sovereignty was safely grandfathered. Nice. Some nations might have tried to use this as an excuse to try to subvert international law and claim all the territory of the smaller and less recognized nation. However, this has not been the case. Britain has made no attempt to take Sealand, and the British government still treats Sealand as an independent state. Let's go. And guys, that was 1987. Let's go to the year 2000. Data and disaster. Oh no. In early 1999, a group of young American entrepreneurs pitched the idea of Haven Co. to Prince Michael. Hey, there's some Americans involved. Look at that. The premise was to establish an internet server farm on Sealand, which would allow users to operate free of draconian censorship restrictions imposed by other nations. Freedom of speech and media. Freedom of speech and media. Look at that. We gave them American constitutional rights like that. It don't even have to be American. The Americans had brought their American way. During the year 2000, in the midst of the dot-com boom, internet, y'all, contracts were signed, capital was raised, and Haven Co. was established on Sealand. Woohoo! Along with bases in London and Amsterdam. Huge infrastructure upgrades began in earnest to accommodate and power the vast racks of servers as well as meet the logical demands of the project. Hold on, give me one quick second. I want to make sure the mic is on the whole time, because sometimes I'll forget. Okay, the mic's on. We're all good. Okay, just want to double check. If you haven't noticed, obviously if you can see the white shining on my face. That's the browser, and I'm just going back and forth on the camera and the website talking to y'all. So, okay, because I'm ignorant on figuring this whole video thing out. So I still haven't figured that out yet, apparently. Okay. During the year 2000... Okay, I already read that. Where am I? Here I am. Satellite and microwave links were installed. So look at that. They got satellite and microwave. Around 25 staff from the United States, United Kingdom, and Europe immigrated to Sealand. Hey, see? Immigration. Preparing for the launch of the service. Haven Co., the first company, guys. Look at that. They even got the first company, and that first company is going to help Sealand a lot, and it still is. Haven Co. took global media coverage, and the inception of the project was met with much fanfare. This would prove to be the first misstep for Haven Co. Oh, really? Misstep? Why would it be a misstep? Okay, it says this would... Okay, as the launch of the service was beset with delays... Okay. And come launch day, the media buzz had cooled. Oh, they lost the hype. They lost the momentum. By late 2000, Haven Co. launched. Differences became immediately clear between Sealand's royal family and members of Haven Co.'s senior management over issues concerning acceptable user policy. The year following launch would also see Haven Co.'s founding CEO returning to the United States, citing personal issues. In the latter part of 2002, Haven Co. CTO departed the company in... This must be a British word, because I actually never heard of this one. I don't think I've heard of this word. Y'all tell me if you've heard of this word before, because in all honesty, I may be about 30 years old, but I don't think I've heard of this word. Acrimonious circumstances. I'm assuming that's like a criminal type thing. I think it's like a criminal word. In 2003, with fast depleting resources, Haven Co. was disbanded. What? They disbanded in 2003? I didn't know that. Huh. Okay. Well, it's still around, ain't it? I think it said it's still around. I'll have to look into that. I think it said it's still around. In June 2006, a fire ignited due to an anomalous failure of one of Sealand's power generators. Yeah, guys, Sealand had its first natural disaster. Surprise! And who says that y'all have to have trees and grass to have a natural fire? And no, it's not a good thing. I'm just making a point. A fire ignited due to, power generators. The fire quickly burned through the generator room housing, encompassing the entirety of the north deck. A rescue helicopter was dispatched from the Royal Air Force, of Britain, of course, Wadisham, to evacuate one of Sealand's citizens. Having been airlifted to hospital, he was treated for smoke inhalation and discharged the same day. The Principality had established a good relationship with the Royal Air Force air-sea rescue teams, and had for years allowed them to run practice drills of airlifting casualties from the Sealand Fortress. See, guys, look. Britain and Sealand don't have to have a treaty for the Royal Air Force to treat Sealand like an independent state that can need help when needed. Because we're human. Okay? That's what I like to see too. I like that the Royal Air Force sees that way. In the subsequent weeks, a team of no less than 10 people were tasked with clearing and repairing the fire damage. A team of no less than 10 people. To clear and repair the fire damage. 10 people on a big fort like that. Oh, no, don't get me wrong. The fort is a claustrophobic fort. I've seen the insides of it. I've never been there, but I've seen the insides of it on videos and stuff, right? 10 people. If 10 people could do that to a claustrophobic big fort in the middle of the ocean, we could do that anywhere. I'm just saying. Making a point. Queendom of Nyx people would definitely do it, and I definitely think we all should do that together, right? That's what the Nyxian Commonwealth is for, too. Nyxian Commonwealth is supposed to help utilize that, too. And, of course, us being allied with the Empire Stemeria, that we could definitely, do some things like that, too, when we progress our partnership further. Okay, okay, cool. I think we're getting towards the end here for at least the real website. I think I'm not going to do the wiki, but just in case y'all want to read the wiki instead of the real website, I'll put that in a link in the description too, but because I'm already ahead of what I'm doing. How long has it been? I want to check that real quick. I'm so sorry. Let me check that real quick. Here I am. Okay, about 47 minutes. That's not too long. 2023, Sealand Today. Today's Sealand brings together a thriving community from all over the world who unite through a shared philosophy of freedom, self-determination, and adventure. To help grow the community, we proudly offer Sealand's Noble Title Initiative. This is an open invitation to all persons of the world who share our beliefs to join our community and formally show their support in a meaningful, enjoyable way. This initiative also greatly benefits the ongoing maintenance and regeneration efforts on our fortress home, as well as helping to safeguard what is a true bastion of freedom for future iterations. For almost 60 years, the Principality of Sealand has been forging a vibrant and dynamic culture which has captured the imagination of people all over the world. Today, part of this culture has been born out of our national sports teams. Today, Sealand competes internationally in an ever-growing number of sports. Guys, they have a sports team, and everybody recognizes Sealand's sports team. We all can do that too when we actually, put effort into becoming real nations. Okay? And by the way, to any of y'all that are listening that are like, well, we don't have the money for it or the people for it. That's true. I'm not going to say you heard me say the timestamps of Sealand, right? You know how many years it took for Sealand to get that far? It's going to take time. But as long as you put it in your list of future projects, don't make those a priority, make them a future project. Okay? Find out what the first easy, quickly, swiftly getting done project first. Get that done first, then go to the next priority that's easy. Then another one, then another one. Then go get up a little bit. When you start getting a little motivated, go to a harder one. All right? That's where we're at now. Okay? What are the easy ones for us right now? I'm still working on statutes, all that good stuff. I'm not gonna explain. We're doing a series. This is the first episode of the series. So you guys almost got me talking about my own nation again. Why wouldn't I? But yeah, no, they got their own sports teams, guys. We can do that too. We actually have virtual sports. The Queen actually had to switch from. We had to choose one because I'm kind of the only person running it, right? The Queen actually switched us away from baseball to actually go to football. So we have a football sports team, and I think if my knowledge serves me right, I think we might do wrestling too, but we don't know yet. We don't know yet. I haven't really brought it up to her about the wrestling part yet, but it's just something to look into. But and it's something fun. It's something fun to send out, post on Facebook and whatnot. So just something fun to do. While we're doing the real stuff behind the scenes, we can still enjoy virtual sports and whatnot in the Queendom of Nyx. Let's see, where are we at? Here we are. We are proudly represented by 2 American football teams. Oh! They're American! Okay, that part I did not know. I thought they were European. Like, not Sealand, but like the football teams. I had no idea they were American. The men's Sealand Seahawks and ladies Sealand She-Hawks. Interesting name. In the summertime, we host a grueling open water charity swim event from Sealand to the UK. No way. That's one hell of a swim. What did it say? 7 nautical miles about? Or 7 miles? Do they swim 7 miles? Oh my god. That would hurt. I wouldn't make it. I would sink. Ugh. My fat body would just sink to the bottom. That's crazy. But in true Sealand adventuring spirit, our mountaineering team have so far. Oh, hold on. Okay, yeah, they have their own mountaineering team. Okay, yeah. Have so far taken Sealand's flag to the summit of 4 of the 7 highest peaks. I did hear about that, including Mount Everest. We also have teams competing under the Sealand flag in curling, ice hockey, and long distance running. I did not know that. Curling? Guys, write down in the comments what curling is. I'm a little ignorant. I don't know what curling is. Help me out. In recent times, we have focused our efforts on embracing new and innovative concepts towards governance by exploring how Web3 technologies such as blockchain can create a more transparent and decentralized government. Leveraging these cutting-edge tools offers Sealand an opportunity to improve our ability to represent and serve our communities, empowering individuals to participate more actively in the decision-making process. This has the potential to position Sealand as a pioneer of new, fairer, and more open governance, which we hope will help promote greater freedoms throughout the world. We have achieved the status of being one of the most environmentally friendly countries on Earth. 99.9% of our electricity is from renewables, using a combination of wind turbines and solar panels. They're out in the middle of the ocean. If I had an island out in the middle of the ocean, I would never touch gas again. There'll be no point. I'm being serious. Like, Queendom of Nyx was going to go for an island at first, right? I would never touch gas. Nope. At that point, it's either hydro or steam power. Okay? I do have citizens that would say diesel, but no, it'd be steam power everything. Steam and hydro. Yep, done. How are you gonna? We'll worry about that later. Okay, our goal is not to like a goal. Blech. Okay, we don't have to worry about the heating process yet, right? Like we can make fire from anything. Okay, but no, I would never touch gas again. If we got an island, our goal was to basically transition out of gas somewhat. Okay. So no, steam power all the way. That's how I would see it if I got an island. But no, this is good. Renewables. I'm not actually a big fan of wind turbines and solar panels, but knowing Sealand, they have like the smallest versions of it that are so minuscule it's not an eyesore. See, I don't like the eyesoreness of the turbines and solar panels, if that makes sense. That's just my opinion. But I don't like the eyesoreness of the large ones, right? And the ones that are abundant across field. I don't like those. I think they're inefficient, and I think they're just a major eyesore. Major eyesore. Like, when it comes to solar panels, right? I'm okay with solar. But doing it on a field, I don't like it. What can you do, though? You know what? I saw this on a Facebook post. I don't care if it was a joke or not. I don't think it is. And some of y'all might agree with me. Think of parking lots. Y'all might have seen this too. Think of parking lots. Any parking lot you can think of. You know what? Let's do a Walmart. Let's do a Walmart parking lot. Big, massive, right? You're in the middle of the summer. It's hotter than hell outside. 90, 95, 100. The sun is blaring at you. It happens to be no clouds in the sky, right? Sun is blaring. It's heating up. We're all burning to death, right? In that parking lot, right? All the asphalt is hot. The cars are hot. You get inside your car to leave, and you feel like you're toasting in an oven. All that good stuff, right? Hear me out. Give that whole parking lot a ceiling and a roof of solar panels. Yeah, solar panels all across the parking lot. I prefer to see solar panels being an awning than a field. Does that make sense? I'd rather have solar panels being an awning to give us shade. Than a field. Than a field of where animals should be. Okay? I prefer that. I prefer a huge roof above every parking lot. Every parking lot you can think of. Imagine a parking lot in your next to your house, a store that you go to, anything like that, even the gym. Shade. Because first of all, you get shade. Second of all, it will prevent snow from hitting the ground. There you go. There's the snow. There's the no snow problem. We might get ice still, but no snow. What about floods and all that? Make them durable, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a magic guy. I'm just coming up with an idea, right? So, but that's my opinion on solar panels. But no, this is good. This is good. I'm glad for Sealand to go full environmental on this one. You know. And it says I actually wonder about this. Our entire fresh water supply is harvested from rainfall, which is plentiful in the Principality. And who bans that? The United States. The United States bans that. Not federally, statewide. Sadly, in the state of Kentucky, and probably the neighboring states as well, ban collecting rainfall as fresh water. You don't think we're going to do it anyway? Like, I'm not saying I'm doing it publicly. I'm actually not. But it's a stupid law to begin with, and you cannot prohibit that because prohibition doesn't work regardless. And are you going to stop rain from falling? Because rainwater is going to collect either way. So, but no, this is amazing. And we have reached the end. Yay, we reached the end of the Principality of Sealand's website. Alright, so there you go. I gave a huge commentary. Maybe I talked too much. Maybe I didn't talk too much. Maybe I didn't talk enough. It's already been just about almost an hour. So, I'm going to say this. Principality of Sealand, you're definitely a real-life, independent, sovereign nation. I hope you continue to thrive, continue to prosper. You know, I pray for the current prince, which I believe is Prince Michael. I'm pretty sure. And his family. Pray for them. I pray for the Principality of Sealand, all their sports teams, all that good stuff. I hope they all do well. I know I can't show you images, guys. I'm sorry, but I will put the link of the website in the description. So if you want to see the Sealand itself, their flag, their coat of arms, their motto, the people, everything, I will put the website's link in the description. Therefore, you can see everything. Until I get smart enough to figure out how to put stuff on the screen, because for some reason I can't figure out how to do that anymore. So, with that, yeah, no, Sealand's real, realer than all of us, and obviously I would like the Queendom of Nyx to be like Sealand, so in its own special way. So yes, the Principality of Sealand definitely inspired us to make the Queendom of Nyx. Believe it or not, I've discovered the Principality of Sealand in high school, and it was 2014 when in my senior year of high school is when I discovered Sealand. So I discovered Sealand around probably the perfect time to do so, but it wasn't until 3 years after I graduated that we have finally decided to actually create the Queendom of Nyx. So what happened in those 3 years, Austin? I'll tell you that later. You can find out later. You can find that out in the future, maybe on a video or maybe on our website somewhere that I'll put on, because the website is never finished. So, but it will always have the same stuff. Okay? We're not deleting any, we're not switching around information. If anything, we're updating it over and over and over and over again. Okay? It's just going to look different because things are getting moved around. Okay? So, if the website one day looks like this, but then the next day it looks like that, it's not a change, it's just an update on how we organize stuff, okay? And the website is perfect right now. Some parts just need to be reorganized. So, I hope you liked the video. I hope you liked the first episode of our Micronations commentary series. Now, Sealand, I don't think Sealand declares themselves a micronation either, but it is a tiny nation after all. And they declared themselves as an independent state, as far as I'm aware. So, as they declared themselves as an independent state, that's what I'm going to call them by, an independent state. So, if you want to consider them a micronation, go for it. But I'm going to let you know right now, they don't care about what you think. Because they don't. I've seen that in the video. They really do not care what y'all think of Sealand. So, in the nicest way possible, of course, with a British accent. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all in the next video. Alright? Y'all have a good night. On this night of February 7th, 2026. And it's officially been an hour. And we'll see how long my other videos will be. Because, let's see, am I going to do the... Let's see, should I announce the next nation? I guess I can. Let's see, we did Sealand. And it was that, believe it or not, it was actually thanks to Wikipedia. Because I was also gonna explain the Wikipedia page at first, but I decided not to because it would be too much. So, I mean, if they got an official website, then just use the official website, right? So, but thanks to Sealand's Wikipedia, of course, Wikipedia would consider them a micronation. So, it gave me access to the list of micronations of the world. So, this gives me full access of all the lovely micronations of the world. And again, of course, Wikipedia would put Sealand as one of them, but I don't believe what Wikipedia thinks, so. But there is a microwiki as well, so Wikipedia will probably send me to the microwikis as well, so we will see. So, Austin, what's the next nation you're going to talk about? To be honest with you, I have no clue. I might actually have to decide this later tonight and then think about it tomorrow. Because I'll probably do another video tomorrow. So, you know what? I might do that. Yeah, I might do that, actually. Okay. Oh, here we go. Ooh, you know what? I could go by the founding date. Okay. Yeah, I can go by the founding date, yeah. Okay, sure, why not? Okay. Interesting. Okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Well, if I'm going to go by the founding date, might as well then. Okay. That'll just be easier for me. Alright, here we go. I am going to announce the next nation that we're going to look up. And the next nation is called... And forgive my Welsh, because I don't know how to speak Welsh. And take it for what it's worth. It's on Wikipedia, so, you know, just take it what it's worth. The Free Borough of Llanrwst? Oh, man, I can't speak Welsh, guys. Help me out. Help me out, comments. Comments, help me out. The Free Borough of Llanrwst. I'm just, like, there's no R after the W, but it sounds like there should be an R there. Llanrwst. Okay, Llanrwst. Or Llanrwst. Depending on the Welsh language. Okay. Yeah, so help me out. And here, I'll spell it for you. Okay, Free Borough of capital L, lowercase l, Anrwst. That is the nation we will be. That will have a next video up. I can't guarantee tomorrow, but that will be the next video, the episode of the series. Yeah, that'll be the next episode of the series that I'm making. So yes, the Free Borough of this particular Welsh nation that I cannot pronounce worth anything, even if were to help my life, if my life were to depend on it. So, okay, so yeah, that's the next nation we're going to look up. I'm just going to go by the founding dates from the oldest to the youngest. So, that's how we're going to do it. So, without further ado, I will see you all very soon. Y'all have a good night. And Ave Rex, Vivat Regum. Hail the Queendom. Hail the Queen. Good night.
In the darkest of nights, in the coldest of days, is our comfort. In the dark of night, the winds of change of night, our freedom is a national just we fight for freedom and justice.
Rise, Queendom of Nyx. We rise, we march, we fight, we live. Rise, Queendom of Nyx. United we stand, divided we fall.
In the darkest of nights, in the coldest of days, is our comfort. In the dark of night,